Buren County Quorum will come to order. We'll be led in prayer by Justice Esther Bass, immediately followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Brian Tatum.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you today for your kindness. Thank you for the good weather that you've given us, cooling it off just a little bit. Lord, we bring these needs before you tonight for the county. Help us to have a mind and one accord, Lord, that we can do business for the county that would be pleasing, not only to the county but to you. Keep us in your care, Master, and we'll love and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Have a seat. Roll call.
Holt.
Here.
Nikki. Here. Sarah. Here. Phillips. Here. Hensley.
Here.
Bradford.
Here.
Tatum.
Here.
Lemmings.
Here.
Bass.
Here.
On the agenda, approving the agenda, do I hear a motion to entertain two additional ordinances that were sponsored by Brian Tatum?
Second.
A motion by Dale Holt, second by Nikki Brown to entertain those two ordinances. Any discussion? All in favor of entertaining the two ordinances signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Do I hear a motion to suspend the audible reading of the transfers?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mary Phillips, a second by Virgil Lemmings to suspend the reading and audible reading of the transfers. Any discussion? I didn't know there was one. Okay. All those in favor of approving the suspension of the audible reading of the transfers, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay, that was motion by Phillips, second by Virgil Lemmings. We also have an additional resolution. Do I hear a motion to entertain the resolution?
Second.
We have a motion by Virgil Lemmings, a second by Nikki Brown to entertain the additional resolution. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Do I hear any other changes to the agenda? Roll call vote to approve the agenda.
So moved. Oh.
Well, I guess I should, do I hear a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we have motion by Holt, second by Brian Tatum to approve the agenda. Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yep.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley. Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yeah.
Bass.
Yes.
You love all this stuff we do, just to have to go through it. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes and the financials?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Russell and a second by Nikki Brown to approve the minutes and financials. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Well, is that a roll call or is that a voice vote? Do I hear a
Voice vote.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next for county judges' comments. The only thing I have is that I have been approved and accepted to go into the leadership program sponsored by NACO. So it's an online program, so I'm excited to do that. So that'll start in mid-September and goes through December, I believe. So it's good. Looking forward to that. Next up is county boards and committees to address the court. First up, we have fire chiefs.
Good evening, everybody. Name's Grant Summers also with the Damascus Fire Department, also with the Van Buren County Fire Chiefs Association. On our behalf, we are trying to put together our first annual Van Buren County Fire Expo for 2022. This is to help the county recruit new members for each department. We're trying to get all the departments put together to make this happen. We're going to have different things as far as trying to do an extrication show, let everybody know what our tools and stuff that we use. We'll pass around some of the flyers that we're using. We're doing door prizes, auctioning off a few things, generator, gas card. Just odds and ends things, get kids involved. We'll do what we're doing, show the Van Buren County what we're using our tax money for as far as buying new turnouts, trucks, equipment, whatever we gotta have. We're doing a lot of raffles, like I said, on a portable generator, a $250 gas card. We're also buying and selling t-shirts. I've only got one with me. I'll kind of pass it around, everybody can look. The front, it's got our Van Buren County map with the fire chief's logo on the front of it. And it's got the county map on the back of it with stars and fire trucks marking each department. And with a listing of all the departments on the very back of it. What I'm coming tonight for is to ask for sponsorship from the county. Possible donations of whatever possible to help us finish buying t-shirts, and we've got a pretty good support from the businesses in the county. We just need a little bit extra. We're going to be selling hamburgers and hot dogs. Everything that we raise off of this goes into our county burnout fund. Part of it will go into the fund, and part of it we'll set aside for next year. Some of our sponsors that we've had for this year is already saying, come talk to us next year, we'll help you too. But we're just kicking this thing off, trying to get everything going. We tried to come by and just talk to everybody and get y'all's support and see if anybody can help.
Does anyone have any questions for Greg Summers?
I don't have any questions, just have a comment. I appreciate them moving forward with this. I mean, it's something that's been on the radar for a while, and as we all know, we need whatever we can get to as far as volunteers for the fire departments. It's just not something that is out there like it used to be, and we've all seen the shortfalls from that. So I'm glad to see it getting kicked off. A lot of counties do this, and this will be the first one for a year, so
Yep.
I'm kind of excited.
This was kind of brought up by one of our medics on Medic 1. We talked to pretty much all the chiefs that's come to meetings. There's been 7 of us appointed as a committee. Chiefs approved on. It's going to be myself, 2 from Allred, actually 3 from Allred, and Chris from Medic 1, 1 from Burnt Ridge. I believe that's it. There's 7 of us. I think I'm not missing anybody. So far, like I said, we've had a pretty good turnout, but just a little bit more would go a long way. We've got several that hasn't responded or cannot do anything this year the way the economy's been. But they are more into next year. We kind of get into their budget. But that's really all I got. Y'all have anything?
As far as the donations, are you trying to get some donations for this event?
Yes.
What would be the deadline that you would need those donations by?
It's not till October, but we're kind of needing it, within the next couple weeks. September 30th is kind of our deadline for our t-shirts. So we've got to have everything that we're going to order. I've already put one order in to help us at the county fair. We're going to set up at the county fair to kind of maybe try to raise some in and sell some of the shirts that we have ordered that we have been able to purchase. We've got a gentleman up at Holly Mountain that's helping us out as much as he can. So we're usually by the 30th, that would gives the gentleman a couple weeks if we're having to buy shirts. We still got to come up like for hot dogs and hamburgers, all the fixings. That could be pretty pricey. Hopefully Petty Jean Meats is going to help us out. We haven't heard from them for sure. Cash Savers possibly. I'm just still waiting on an answer. We've been all over the county. We have booked since we started this last month, and we finally decided to kick it off for sure. And everybody's been doing, besides their main work, we've been doing quite a bit. Like I said, we just thought we'd come talk and see what y'all might be able to do.
Any other discussion? Grant, thank you. Dale, Dina, thank y'all. Thanks for being here.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Next up, Danny Griffin.
Good evening. I just wanted to come this evening and pass these out and kind of give you an update of what's going on in our office. We call it. In those packets, you'll find a summary or stuff from this year, a program and work. You'll also see a demo book from 2021, and that has all the ag demos that we've conducted here in the county or that I assisted with possibly in other counties. I've done multi-county work. We do share some demonstrations and programs. A lot of our conferences and stuff we try to combine together, kind of combine resources and pull a bigger crowd of folks for the people that are coming to speak and putting on those kind of programs. So you'll see that a lot in our conferences and stuff. It was great to get back to face-to-face meetings this last year. You know, I've been doing this, it'll be 27 years, September the 1st. And when COVID hit, I didn't know what it was like to go home at night and not have midnight meetings and things like that to do, conferences to put on. You know, it was really a different world for a while. You know, actually, you don't think you miss those things until they're not there, and then you really do, you know. And so it was really nice. I was disappointed. I forgot to put that on this one. It's on y'all's now. This morning we had an ag committee planning meeting, and we were there, and Virgil reminded me that the sheep and goat conference we did in November at Mountain View was not on that list. And I said, oh yeah, I was in COVID jail still. So my sister had COVID and I got quarantined, you know, and I was mad because I couldn't go to the sheep and goat conference because that was the first in-person meeting we had really got to get back to having, you know, a conference like that. So anyway, it's been a good year. There's a lot of things on that. You have a form like this in your packet that shows a summary of all the things we've done this last year. I will let you know that it says under the County Extension Agent Family Consumer Science anticipated person there. Jessa got married, and her and her husband took jobs over in Eastern Arkansas teaching school, and so we have lost her. We are in the process. We've advertised, we've interviewed, and now we're in the further process of trying to get somebody hired back here. Hopefully we'll have somebody in the next month or so. So it kind of depends on their starting dates. So we are looking forward to having somebody back in that position soon. So if you got any questions for me, if you look over this packet of stuff, there's also, you know, we worked a lot. You know, our job changes fairly quick with the circumstances of life at times. And in the agricultural world, we have dealt with high inputs. Fertilizer we thought it was high 15 years ago when it went from 200 up to 500, and now it went from 500 up to 1,000, you know, dollars a ton. It's come back down some, but it's still extremely high. And Virgil can testify that. Many others in here can too. And you know, that's kind of our forage conference that we did over at Heber Springs. Back in the spring, we knew that was going to be an issue, so we tried to head some things off that producers could do to save some money there. We've also been working on a hay verification demonstration where actually we're keeping up with the yields and off of the fields and the inputs into that system, that we will send all that information to our livestock and one of our other crop economists, and they will sit back and send us back kind of the inputs of what it costs to actually put that hay up this year, which is going to be some good. It's going to be some good numbers to know. I don't know if it's going to be good numbers, but it's going to be good numbers to know. And so for producers to see that in a year like this. The other thing, you know, we had a drought conference. It really wasn't supposed to be a drought conference when we started planning it. But we adopted it or adapted it into a drought conference after the situation arose like it did. But we already knew producers were going to be short of hay. So we've been working with them, giving them ideas. You'll see that newsletter that's in there this month is all about things that they can do to help extend their grazing or do things into the winter and the spring to supplement their shortage of hay. So we've been working on a lot of that kind of stuff also. 4-H is going strong. We had a lot of kids participate in different things. We got kids showing, of course, our livestock show, county fairs coming up. We had a junior livestock judging team that went to state and placed third overall. And they won the sheep division of all things. We know more about cattle here in this county, but we won the sheep division. So, hey, you take what you get. So they did a good job. Any questions for me? I don't want to keep you too long. About our office or anything? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good deal. Are there any other elected officials or department heads that wish to address the board? Debbie?
I just want to give an update on my building. We have air. As of today, they've started the units up. Of course, there's always going to be a few little tweaks they have to do. They'll be there, they were there all day today watching, and tomorrow they'll have to do another session of watching it. It is working. It feels amazing in there. I actually got cold, which is very unusual. So their plan is they have a cleaning crew they've hired that was figured into the quote or the bid, and they will be there and start Saturday morning. They're going to clean everything, floor to ceiling, except our server room. I'm not letting them in the server room because that's just, I can't cope with that. But so we'll have to do that room ourselves. So Monday morning, everything should be turned over to us. The cleaning should be done. We should be able to get everybody back in their own little offices and their own little codes, and they got all their stuff out of the day, all their junk, so it really looks like a courthouse again. And I just want to give you all updates. And then I have that resolution tonight because I'm applying for a grant to get new equipment in the recording office. So, and then a heads up, I'm going to hit you up at the next budget meeting because I don't have any flooring in that office, so that's going to be my next tip. But anyway, other than that, it's looking like a courthouse again. It feels air. The upstairs is clean. I'm excited. It's coming back.
Well, I was in there just, I want to say it was yesterday or the day before.
And it was still a disaster.
And I was like, I can't even imagine court in here in 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah,
it was, I was just taken aback.
I went
So I'm thrilled with it.
Yes, I went upstairs today, because I hadn't been up there in probably a month, because I was afraid to go up there, but they just had a few boxes and stuff they had to get out, but they had a whole crew there today getting that kind of stuff, and so it's almost there. So I'm a happy girl. So anyway,
Good.
y'all have any questions about any of it?
We'll just be happy to check something off.
Yeah, and I want y'all to come see it. I mean, of course, the flooring won't be done, but at least just come see that it looks like a courthouse, especially those of you that have seen it when it was in its disarray. So, anyway, it's good. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Court, do you have any questions for any of the department heads or elected officials that are here?
I have a question.
Okay.
Just wanted to ask if any of y'all had thought about any of the raises for the employees that got left out this year.
Well, I believe that we had a budget meeting. I'll let Brian.
Go ahead.
No, Brian, you're the chair. I'll let you.
Well, we had a budget meeting planned, and then we had some emergencies come up that some of us couldn't make. So we're gonna have to address that at our next budget meeting, on that, which we had not planned because we've all been gone, for that. But, that was planned, but we had some emergencies come up and kind of took precedence over that.
Anything else? First ordinance is sponsored by Nikki Brown, and before we start this, I believe this has a little bit more to it than a simple appropriation.
Okay.
So I would entertain a motion to conduct all three readings at this session, with the first two being by title only.
So, second.
A motion by Mary Phillips, a second by Nikki Brown. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt,
Yeah.
Vicky,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Phillips,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
Bradford,
Yes.
Tatum,
Yes.
Lemmings,
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Okay. Nikki, if you wouldn't mind, the first reading by title only.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the original part-time employee hours of 2022, the Van Buren County Library, and to transfer monies from line number 9999 into the part-time line item to cover costs.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to accept that as reading one?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Nikki and a second by Holt to accept that as reading one. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nikki, would you care to do the second reading?
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the original part-time employee hours of 2022 for the Van Buren County Library and to transfer monies from line number 9999 into the part-time line item to cover costs.
Do I hear a motion to accept reading number two?
Motion accept. Second.
Motion by Dale Holt, second by Virgil Lemmings to accept that as reading number two. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Nikki, third and final reading in its entirety.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the original part-time employee hours of 2022 for the Van Buren County Library and to transfer monies from line number 9999 into the part-time line item to cover cost. Whereas during the 2022 budget process, 30 hours per pay were turned in and approved for the library part-time employees. And whereas the correct amount of hours should have been 30 hours per week at 60 hours per pay. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, 30 hours per pay will be amended to 60 hours per pay for the Van Buren County Library part-time employees. Section 2, $10,000 will be transferred from number 3008-600-9999 to 3008-600-1002 salaries part-time to cover cost. Make a motion we approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion by Nikki Brown, a second by Sarah Brown to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-37.
Next ordinance is sponsored by Dale Holt.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation order to appropriate $30,000 in line item 2000-200-3009, other professional services. Whereas the Van Buren County Road Department has received mitigation plan grant reimbursement of $30,000, and whereas there is a need to appropriate the funds, now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the sum of $30,000 be appropriated to line item 2000-200-3009, other professional services. I move that we approve this.
Second.
We have a motion by Dale Holt and a second by Virgil Lemmings to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-38.
Thank you. Our next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Hensley.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance number 2021-51, the annual operating budget for 2022 to increase the projected revenue of county general and appropriate $571.76 into the election commission budget number 1000-109. Whereas the Van Buren County Election Commission voted to have County Clerk Pam Bradford as acting election coordinator so that she may attend the required training from the State Board of Election Commissioners for the May 2022 primary, and whereas after Ms. Bradford attended the training, the State Board of Election Commission compensated $500 for election coordinator training stipend to Van Buren County for Ms. Bradford attending the training, and whereas this money will need to be appropriated into the Van Buren County Election Commission budget to be paid to Ms. Bradford, and whereas Van Buren County also received refund mileage for $71.76 from the State Board of Election Commission for Ms. Bradford's travel expense. And whereas the county has already paid mileage to Ms. Bradford, this money will need to be appropriated into the Van Buren County Election Commission budget to replace monies already paid. Now therefore, it be ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $500 be appropriated into the Van Buren County Election Commission budget, number 1000-109-1003, salaries part-time. Section 2, $71.76 be appropriated into the Van Buren County Election Commission budget, number 1000-109-3030, travel. I move we approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion by Russell Hensley and a second by Mary Phillips to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Pam, you're going to be the election coordinator?
Well, the acting coordinator, I guess.
Okay.
I'll be doing, and I have been really, they've been learning. They've been really good.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Firemen don't get one. Have you got quite a bit of training to go through?
I go to all the training possible that they have, every time they have it, because it's like learning something new every election.
I'm glad to hear that.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemming.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-39.
Thank you. Our next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Tatum, and you can pick which one you read.
Pick one.
One of the two that were dropped.
All right, being enacted by the Quorum Court, County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to amend the budget for Fund 1006 ARPA revenue replacement to transfer monies within the fund and run payroll out of the fund for some of the county general employees and excluding elected officials. It has been approved by AAC, Association of Arkansas Counties, to run payroll out of ARPA funds in Fund number 1006, and whereas $1,099,546.61 will be transferred within the fund into personal services to do so as shown below. $681,600 from number 1006-103-4003 improvements to 1006-103-1001 salaries full-time. $81,248.90 from 1006-103-3004 engineering to 1006-103-102 salaries part-time. $59,285.76 from 1006-103-3004 engineering to 1006-103-1006 Social Security match. $97,682.94 from 1006-103-3004 engineering to 1006-103-1008 retirement. $172,713.25 from number 1006-103-4004 machinery and equipment to 1006-103-109 health insurance. $4,789.99 from 1006-103-3004 engineering to 1006-103-1010 workers' compensation. $608.49 from 1006-103-3004 engineering to 1006-103-1011 unemployment. $1,617.28 from 1006-103-3004 engineering to 1006-103-1016 life insurance. Whereas payroll of the offices of the county clerk, circuit clerk, voter registration, safety maintenance department, health department, sheriff's department, District Court and Detention Center will be paid from the ARPA Revenue Replacement Fund number 1006, beginning on the next payroll on Friday, August 26, 2022, for a pay period beginning August 13th, 2022, excluding all elected officials. Whereas the money saved in county general be placed into the county reserve fund. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court, Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, this money will be transferred into the line item shown above. Section 2, county employees will be paid from fund number 1006 in the departments listed above, excluding all elected officials. I move we approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Brian Tatum, a second by Nikki Brown. Discussion. And I'm sure for those of you who haven't been a part of all these discussions, you've got a lot of questions. This is a payroll replacement program, which is perfectly legal under the law. This is all the Biden money that was dropped in that the counties initially had a lot of restrictions on. It could only be used for certain things only. We had to go through a federal procurement on these certain things. The monies had to be spent in a certain time and in a certain manner. That has loosened up somewhat. Any county receiving less than $10 million of ARP funds, which is what these are, ARP or ARPA, American Rescue Plan, American Rescue Plan Act. These funds can be used up to $10 million for any governmental operative purpose. So one of those purposes is payroll. So what counties and cities can do now is run payroll through the ARPA fund. And what that in turn does is relieves county general. We have spent our money on payroll, so now we are no longer under the restrictions of federal policies because we spent payroll money on it. Now we've saved our own money and we get to use our own money the way we see fit, right? We don't have to have it spent by 2024 or 2026, and we don't have to go through federal hoops, if that makes any sense at all. Now, just today, I received an email from Lindsay Holman from AAC, and at the root of this is Treasury has modified the rules yet again. And not every expense is going to, or our procurement is no longer going to be subject to two different procurements. They're reverting back to state procurement, which is fantastic news for us. Because if you recall, there were a lot of things that were very difficult to manage both the state and federal procurement on because they were almost contradictory in some areas. So that's where we are with this. It allows payroll money to be spent directly out of ARPA, and it allows us to capture the savings, move it over to reserve for whatever you guys choose to use it on.
Approximately how long will this be paid? How long will this money last? 6 months, a year?
We still have $2.8 million in ARPA funds. We have several projects that can be paid directly out of ARPA. We have A-Wing radios that we're receiving right now. That's $200,000. A 911 backup facility that's at the architect phase right now. That can come directly out of ARPA. But there are a lot of other different types of things that the budget committee and you guys as a whole from court have already approved. That it just makes the procurement of all this a whole lot easier. And if you choose to pull a project off the table, then so be it. You pull it off the table and there's no longer that time restriction.
Will this allow us to give our employees a cost of living raise?
I stand by firmly that you would have to have enough votes to override my veto to do that.
You have to have enough what?
You would have to have enough votes to override my veto to do that. Because this is a one-time amount of money. Even though it's a lot of money, This is a one-time lump sum. I agree that our employees need a COLA raise, just not out of this fund. It just
Well,
out
that
of.
loses up some of our own money to help them get a raise. You
Yeah.
know, these are hard times for all employees,
Mhm.
and I'd like to see them get
We will
a
be looking.
percentage raise. You know, we used to get cost of living by percentage, 3-4%, 5%, and they could sure use it. All of them could, I'm sure.
As long as we don't create an ongoing expense with a one-time limited amount of funds, I'm a happy camper.
We're gonna be looking at a COLA raise, but it just won't come out of ARPA.
No, well, no, but
It'd have
we'll
to come
loosen
out.
ours
Yes,
up.
yes,
This,
yes.
we can use this ARPA funds and it'll loosen our monies up.
Any other discussion?
When did, I thought White River was managing his ARP money, and this is now AAC, when did they take over that?
No, this is just guidance that was given by AAC.
It's got it, okay.
And the reason we were using White River is because of all the federal procurement.
Right, yeah, I mean.
Well, now federal's loosened up. So
Okay.
that's why we would do this, is to get out of so much red tape. Good question. Clear as mud. Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-40.
Thank you. Our next ordinance is also sponsored by Justice Tatum.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to appropriate $9,597.46 into the reserve fund number 1001 and transfer and appropriate it into county general number 1000. Whereas the Budget Committee agreed to bring before Quorum Court the matter of purchasing computers from Apprentice for the Assessor's Office from the Reserve Fund, and whereas the Reserve Fund will be reimbursed through payroll replacement through ARPA. Now therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that Section 1, $9,597.46 be appropriated into the Reserve Fund number 1000-9999. Section 2, these monies will be transferred and appropriated from the Reserve Fund number 1001-1003-9999 to the Assessor's Budget in the County General number 1000-105-4004, machinery and equipment other than vehicles. Make a motion to approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion by Brian Tatum, a second by Mary Phillips to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-41.
Next, we have a resolution, and I don't have a copy of it. Who's the sponsor of that? Lemmings? All right.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, a resolution be entitled, a resolution authorizing the county judge of Van Buren County, Arkansas, to apply for a grant on behalf of the Van Buren County clerk. Circuit clerk, I'm sorry. Whereas, I already told her I wasn't gonna read this for tonight, so I put that in there. Whereas Van Buren County, Arkansas has adopted, applied for a grant through the Association of Arkansas Counties to purchase 1 server, 3 printers, 3 validators, and 2 scanners. And whereas the proposed purchase will be replacing broken obsolete equipment. The server currently in the circuit clerk's office is a homemade unit that has been used for many years and is beginning to have some issues. And whereas the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas recognizes the need for the project, concurs its importance, understands it will be at no cost to the county, and wholeheartedly supports the effort to proceed with this project. Now therefore be it resolved by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the county judge of Van Buren County, Arkansas is hereby authorized to apply for a grant from the Association of Arkansas Counties for the purchase of securing funds in the amount of $19,761.70 to aid and assist the proposed project described herein, and the county judge is further authorized to administer grant funds for the said project. I'm going to approve this as written.
Second.
A motion by Virgil Lemmings and a second by Dale Holt to adopt this resolution. Any discussion? Roll call.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
R 2022-46.
I hear a motion to approve the transfers.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfers.
Second.
Got a motion by Virgil Lemmings, a second by Russell Hensley to approve the transfers. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the transfers signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Brings us up near the end. Do we have any announcements, or does anyone from the floor wish to approach the court? Go ahead.
Judge Bass stimulated a thought. Anyway, what I would like the court to consider is part-timers. I would, like you said, because of hard times and cost of living, I know we can't adjust that, but maybe you all can consider giving part-timers that work for the county some PTO days. I mean, especially those that have been working for years for the county, at least some leeway or consideration for their performance. And I would hope that you all would consider that.
Thank you very much. We'll take that into consideration, and I will be sure to let you know next time we have a personnel policy committee.
Thank you.
You bet. Any other discussion or any other comments? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Any opposed?